Good morning, everyone. My name is Jordan, and I'm the manager of online education programs at COSI. Thank you very much for joining me today for the 2020 Digital Science Festival. We're very excited to have you here today. We have some great events happening this afternoon, and I wanted to make sure to share one particularly interesting one. Get ready, we're going to the moon and Mars. That program is happening today at 2 p.m., and it will host COSI's CEO and president, Dr. Frederick Bertley, as well as the leader of NASA, Administrator Jim Bridenstine. So we're very excited to have both of them here for a great discussion on the future of NASA. That program is happening on COSI and NASA's social media, Facebook, YouTube, etc. We want to take a moment to make sure that you're aware of the big science celebration that was originally scheduled for tomorrow, Saturday. Isn't happening as planned, but we hope to still connect with you virtually at home. This program will be a great example of things to share. We are hoping to gather videos and photos of all of your at-home science experiments over the course of this week. So share those with us using hashtag COSI SciFest. So whether you're making a volcano or COSI slime or your own homemade reusable grocery bag, we'd love to see those on our social media. So be sure to share all of those. And of course, we want to take a moment to thank our sponsors and partners of the COSI Science Festival. We definitely could not have done this without them. We want to pay special close attention to our visionary sponsor, Battelle. Thank you all very much. So during the program today, we will have the opportunity to ask questions and make comments using the chat feature built into Zoom. If you're on a desktop device, you can hover over the Zoom window, and the center icon at the bottom is the chat window. You can open it up there to ask your questions or make your comments. If you're on a mobile device, you might have to tap your screen to open the chat, and then you can ask your question or make your comment there, and then hit back to go back to the video of the program. It is now my great pleasure today to welcome you to the program, Making Reusable Grocery Bags, with our special guest, Miss Elizabeth Ellman. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, and I am chair of the City of Bexley's Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee. We work with the mayor and city officials to advise policy for the city, as well as put on events and run a social media educational campaign for all residents in Central Ohio. So thank you so much for coming to join us today to make a reusable bag. The city of Bexley was the first city in Central Ohio to ban reusable bags. To ban single-use bags. Unfortunately, we've had to put that ban on hold for the time being, but once everyone is safe and healthy, we will be sure to get right back on track, as I'm sure that we all know how detrimental single-use plastic bags can be for our environment. So today we're going to learn how to make our own reusable bag by repurposing an old t-shirt. So if you don't have a t-shirt, please go ahead and grab one, as well as a pair of scissors and a marker or a pen, and we will get started. Also, I will be posting a step-by-step how-to on our Facebook page this afternoon, in case if you'd like a refresher. So you can find that information at facebook.com/greenbexley. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get comfortable. I'm sitting on the floor because I always like to do my crafts on the floor. And I'm going to demo up here. I hope you can see that, but do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. So the first thing that you're going to do today is take your t-shirt and you are going to turn it inside out. And by the magic of television, I did that already. So please take a moment to get your t-shirt inside out. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut the sleeves off of our t-shirt. These will be part of the straps for our bag. So grab your scissors and get a cutting. Let me get mine. Here we go. All right, I've got one down. All right, so if you're feeling particularly strong, you want to show off those muscles, feel free to leave your shirt like this, turn it right side out and just wear it as is. But if you would like to be more of an environmentalist, let's continue to make this into a bag. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is draw kind of a necklace or a U-type shape up at the collar of your shirt. This will be the other part of our handles. The longer you make your necklace or the U shape, the bigger your handles will be. So just keep that in mind. If you could show me on the chat, raise your hand or type in that you've got these steps done, that would be great. So remember, so far we've cut out our t-shirt sleeves off at the seam, and then we've drawn a U or a necklace type shape up at the top of our collar. If you could somehow let me know in the chat or by raising your hand that you've done these steps, that would be
Elizabeth,
great. We want to wait.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
we have a question from the chat. They want to know if you're leaving the seams on the shirt or on the sleeves.
I have sort of cut at the seam. It doesn't matter if you have cut on it or directly next to it, but pretty close.
Got it. Thank you.
I hope that I hope that answers the questions.
It looks like we are still cutting.
Okay.
Still cutting a little bit. Maybe give them a minute here.
Sure. I'm gonna grab some water. All right, I'm going to give about 30 more seconds, but we did have a question. We are cutting the front of the sleeves. We're cutting both sleeves off, so like the front part and the back part. All right, we're going to move on to finishing off our handles. So we are going to cut on this necklace or this U shape that we've just made. We're going to cut both the front part of the shirt and the back part of the shirt. So I think I might need to readjust here. Whew. You're going to just cut on this line, both the front of the shirt and the back. So right now your t-shirt should look like this. You've got no sleeves and sort of a big slouchy neckline. And if you see any parts of your shirt that you want to cut off, maybe you missed a portion, feel free to go back and do that now.
All right, we did have a request to slow down, so we want to make sure we'll take time for everyone. If you are ready to move on, if you find in your Zoom window the ability to raise your hand, and so if your hand is raised, we'll know that you are ready to move on, and if you leave your hand down, we'll know that we need to wait a few more minutes.
So again, once you finish these steps, please use the raise hand feature so we know we are ready to move on. So while we wait, I just wanted to read off a few statistics for you. Americans use about 100 billion single-use plastic bags per year, which requires 12 million barrels of oil to manufacture. And it takes about 14 plastic bags for the equivalent of gas required to drive 1 mile, which is why it's really important to us here in Bexley to use reusable bags as opposed to single-use plastic. All right, we're just waiting on a few more people to finish up these steps. Please use the raise hand function so that we know we're ready to move on. Here we go. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to work at the bottom. I'll move this around. And we're going to cut fringe off of our shirts, at the bottom of our shirt. So I think that it works best to cut fringe that's about 1 to 2 fingers widths apart. And you're just gonna do that all along the shirt. You're gonna do the front and the back. You're gonna cut both of them. And also it's really important to cut off the side right here. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, is make one cut down the side, sort of to split the front and the back of the shirt. That's only as deep as you need to go, maybe about this much. And then I'm just gonna take my fingers and all along the shirt, I'm gonna do one slice like this. Can you see that? I'll move it closer. So we're just gonna make fringe like this all along our shirt. Okay? All along the bottom of the shirt. Make sure that you cut the front and the back portion of your shirt. So I am just cutting both the front and the back at the same time. I'm doing about 1 finger's width for me, but 2 fingers might work for you. I'm gonna take this down. Kristen, if I didn't answer your question, please let me know and I can answer that for you. Try again. So again, we're just cutting sort of 1 to 2 fingers width, just down the front and the back of the shirt like this. If you could use the raise hand function to show us that you've completed this step, that would really help. So thanks so much for that. And once you get to the end, you'll kind of have 1 strip. It's really important to cut that right down the middle. So this is kind of what we're going for on our shirt.
I know we are moving a little fast, and just a reminder to everyone that we are recording the program. So if we need to come back and look at this again, it will be on COSI's website later so that you can come back and follow along with these steps later if we move just a little bit too quick for you today. Elizabeth, while we wait, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about the Green Bexley program?
Sure. Green Bexley is an initiative of the city of Bexley. We're an advisory board to the mayor and city council to advise on policy, as well as we lead some programming throughout the year and educational social media events. We were hoping to have our second annual Green Bexley Fair this year, but we have postponed that for the time being. And we are gearing up to hold our second boot camp series this fall. We're still figuring out the format of that, but last year we had 6 sessions talking about a variety of different aspects of sustainability. We also have an online media presence on our website, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok account where we post a variety of educational information for residents of Bexley and anyone in Central Ohio who's interested in sustainability. The city of Bexley not only was the first in Central Ohio to ban single-use plastic bags, but we also offer curbside recycling to all of our residents, which we found has greatly reduced the amount of organic waste being sent to the landfill.
Excellent. For those guests that aren't in Bexley, do you know of any other programs like that in Central Ohio?
I know there's a Sustainable Grandview, there's Go Green Hilliard, Green Columbus, and I'm sure there are a few others that I'm missing right now, but there are a few local organizations throughout Central Ohio that are working on the same premise that we are. So we're waiting for a few more people to finish cutting the fringe on your shirt. So once you finish that, please use the raise hand function so I know that we're ready to move on. All right, so I'm going to explain the next step. You can do this at your own pace, but the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to tie up all of these fringes. So you're going to want to start at the end of your shirt and tie the front and the back portions. I like to use a double knot. You're just going to go like this. Tie 2 knots, match up the front and the back, and we're going to do this all along the length of the bottom of your shirt. While we do this, feel free to type any questions you have in the chat pertaining to plastic bags, sustainability, Green Bexley, sustainability in Ohio, anything you would like to ask. I'd be more than happy to do my best to answer. I have a question. I'm curious if you all have seen an increase in litter on your streets or in your town during the past few weeks. Have you seen any masks or any gloves as you've been out and about enjoying this nice weather? I'm curious to hear. Please write your answers in the chat. Kristen says she's seen lots of gloves in parking lots. Yeah, me too. So as you're knotting the bottom of your shirt, it will start to look like this. And you're just gonna create these knots all across the bottom of your shirt. Jason asked if I know of any efforts to get services like Instacart and other delivery services using reusable bags. I am not sure of anything right now. I think that there is some hesitation to use reusable bags just because of any safety or health issues that might come up. So no, I'm not sure of anything right now.
Can you maybe go over the instructions again for the tying of the knots?
Sure. So what we're doing right now is you're just going to tie your fringe. You're going to tie up the matching fringes. So you cut through both the front and the back ends of your shirts, and you're going to tie those matching portions together in a double knot. I will also be posting a sort of how-to guide on Green Bexley's Facebook page this afternoon if you missed the earlier instructions, and we will have a recorded video online as well. So I've got a question from Michelle. What is my recommendation of what to do with the single-use bags I've gotten from the grocery store other than use them as poop scoop bags? I would suggest reusing them if possible. So those, while I don't love to receive them, if I do get them, those are the bags that I use for trash. Rumpke asks that we bag all of our trash, so that's what I've been doing. Make sure that that goes in a trash bag instead of just loose in your trash can. But you can also hold on to those bags and take them to a grocery store or big box store. Most of those stores collect those bags and then they go to a company called Trex, which recycles them into compostable, into decking. They used plastic decking, which they make. So that is what I would suggest. Either reuse them as trash bags if you produce trash, or hang on to them until you can take them somewhere to be recycled. Remember, they cannot go in your Rumpke trash can. I'm sorry, in your Rumpke recycling bin. I have heard some people say that they have not seen the bags being collected at Kroger. I have heard some people say that they have. So I think it just depends on your location. I got a question, if it is okay to share the direction I'm going to post. Absolutely, please feel free to do this. Share with your friends, and in fact, I encourage everyone to teach someone how to do this. It's a great way to have an evening or afternoon with your friends, to do a little make and take, lunch and learn by making a reusable bag. All right, so we have about 7 minutes left and I want to make sure that we get this done, but our goal is going to be to tie as many of these knots as we can in the next few minutes. Michelle says that her Kroger in Centerville is actually allowing people to reuse or bring their own reusable bags as long as they bag themselves, which I think is great, and I encourage everyone to do so long as the grocery store is allowing that. Once you finish tying your knots, please raise your hand so I know that we are ready to move on. Riley, it looks like you're needing some help. Please feel free to type a question that you have, and also remember that I will have an information sheet available online later this afternoon, as well as a video recording of this seminar. So you'll want your fringes to kind of look like this, but I'll give everyone a few more minutes to finish that up. Amy's saying that her local grocery store isn't allowing her to bring reusable bags. So she's leaving her groceries loose in her cart and then bagging them at the car in her reusable bags. Nice job, Amy. I love it. Riley, are the pieces too small for you to tie? Feel free to type some more information. I can do my best to help you out. So I'm reading here that the average American family takes home almost 1,500 plastic shopping bags a year. And according to some earlier research I did, these bags are only used for about 16 minutes each time. So if you think about not only the litter that these single-use bags create, but also there's a lot of energy and products going into manufacturing these bags and transporting these bags. So as often as we can use reusable items like these bags is great. All right.
Well, can you maybe do, oh, sorry, I was just going to suggest maybe tying one more knot maybe up close to the camera and see if we can get a better view of it.
Sure. All right, so this is my last knot and I'm just gonna tie a knot. I'm gonna double tie it. Okay, we only have about 3 minutes left, so I want to make sure that we finish up. But remember that I'll be posting a sort of cheat sheet, instructional sheet on our Facebook page, Green Bexley, later this afternoon. And as well, there will be a video recording posted of this webinar. So right now, if you've been able to follow the steps so far, you should have a product that looks like this. And we are almost done. The next thing we're going to do is just turn it inside out. So if your shirt has an image, that's on the front. And I'm going to show you how to use this bag. So these are your handles, and you can just go like this, tote it around, and your fringe knots, mine didn't work right there, but hold everything inside. So I'm going to put my scissors in my bag, my marker, my water bottle, and this is something I can use to hold all of my things. I can walk around and show it to all of my friends. Now remember, we don't want anything to go to waste. So you'll have the collar of the shirt that you cut off. You could turn that into a little bib. You can't really read mine because the camera's backwards, but it says, I'm not wasting this food, I'm saving it for later. You also will have your 2 sleeves, which you could use some rubber bands to fashion into a mask, or you could make it into a headband, but you could use it as a cloth to dust around your house. But I really encourage you to be creative with these leftover scraps. Please find a use for them, reuse so that you don't throw them away. If you do deciding that you don't have a need for them, please throw them in your trash can or take them to someplace like H&M to recycle, but they do not belong in your Rumpke recycling. We have about 1 more minute for any more questions. So if you have any, please feel free to type them in the chat. Also take a look at Green Bexley's Facebook page this afternoon for a step-by-step how-to, as well as the recording of this video. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day, and please send me photographs of you using your bag. Bye.
Yes, we'd love to see those pictures of your bags. So again, if you can, please share those and use the hashtag COSI SciFest. We'd love to see what you've made with us today. Again, thank you all very much for joining us, and thank you, Elizabeth, for presenting the program. We hope
Thank
you
you
all
for having me.
had a great day. We will see everyone hopefully later this afternoon for another great program. Thank you.